はい。皆さん、聞こえますでしょうか？こんばんは。Good afternoon, good morning。本日、司会進行をさせていただきます、東京8グローバル、並びにアセンティアホールディングスの合同の松本信彦と、東京8グローバル、太陽ユカのエノラ・ラボーンさん、この2名で、今日の司会進行を行わさせていただきます。
So good morning, good evening, and hello everyone. Thank you for attending today's official TICAD8 side event organized by Tokyo8 Global. So the guidance will be done by Mr. Matsumoto Nobuhiko from the board of Tokyo8 Global and Asentia Holdings, and me, Enora Leborn from Tokyo8 Global and Tayuyuka. First of all, please see the earth mark at the bottom of your screen to choose the language you want to listen the event.
はい。画面の下にですね、地球儀のマークがございます。わかりますかね？通訳と書いてある地球儀のマーク。こちらでですね、皆さんの聞きたい言語、英語もしくは日本語を選択いただけますでしょうか？エノラからもみんなに。
So, we had some troubles during rehearsal today, and it might cut during the presentation. So if it cuts, please join again with the link that you have used before. Thank you very much.
はい。で、今回の私たちのサイドイベントは、他の農法や他の手法による環境再生型農業の実現方法にとって変わるものであったり、比較したりするものではなくて、アフリカにとって好ましいすべての農法、すべての小規模農業のプロジェクトと補完関係にある。そういうことを知ってもらいたいと思って開催しました。アフリカの農業を良くするため、すべての農法や RA が実現しようとしていることを土壌改良から実現させうる可能性を持つ資材。これ、東京8を核としたウェビナーです。ところで、私たちは農業やアフリカの安全保障に関しては、まだまだ新参者です。今日の登壇者の皆さん方も経験値は決して長いわけではありません。大変諸先輩方、今日たくさん、はい、聴講者とご参加いただいてますけど、皆さんに比べると新参者です。しかし、TICADが民間活力を活用したアフリカ会議であり、TICADの中で生まれた安倍イニシアチブの卒業生たちがたくさん関与してくれている活動ですので、今回の、TICADの公式サイドイベントの開催が承認された、そんな経緯があります。安倍イニシアチブを語るには、そのお名前を冠したご本人である、安倍元首相のことに触れざるを得ません。安倍元首相の訃報には、実に多くの安倍イニシアチブ卒業生が追悼メッセージを発してくれました。彼の先見性に満ちたグローバルビジョンを私たちが受け継ぐ決意もこのサイドイベントに込めたいと思っております。今回、本日19日と30日、月末30日の2回に分けたイベントを通じて、私たちが皆さんにお感じいただきたいことは、この理想的と思われている環境再生型農業、Regenerative Agriculture、これをその収穫量を増やしながら移行できるということであったり、家族農業や小規模農業の皆さん方がこの自信が持てる、その自給自足プラスアルファ、そんな世界が確信できる、そんなことを 我々としてはお伝えできればなというふうに思っております。で、本日、いろいろ課題として残ったことは、次の月末30日の場で、経験豊富な日本の農業者からもご発言いただく予定でございます。本日の、プログラムでございますけれども、プログラムを共有してもらえますかね。本日のプログラムでございますが、まず、東京8グローバルからの開会のご挨拶と、並びにその東京8についてのレクチャーをさせていただきます。その上で、実際にアフリカ各国から栽培事例の報告と、現地生産の報告を行っていただきます。今日は、リベリア、レソト、マラウィからの栽培報告。並びに、モザンビークからの東京8の現地生産の報告をしていただきます。その上で、皆さんのご質問なんかを受けたまわりながら、意見交換を後半行っていきたいと思っております。2時間という非常に限られた時間でございますので、多分もしかしたら積み残しができてしまう。で、その積み残しは30日に、行いたいと思っております。本日のウェビナー、我々の運営も大変不慣れなままでの運営でございます。そして、登壇者のそれぞれは遠くアフリカからの、参加でございます。回線の状態も決して良くないと聞いてます。同時通訳も含めて温かい目で見守っていただければ幸いにございます。で、質問事項でございますが、質問事項はこの皆さんの画面の下に Q&A というボタンがございます。はい、Q&A のボタン、こちらの方にお願いいたします。チャットではなくて Q&A ですね。はい。で、Q&A のものに対して後半で回答させていただきたいと思います。では、早速、プログラムの方に入りたいと思います。では、開会のご挨拶を、東京8グローバル代表取締役の石田社長、よろしくお願いいたします。石田社長、よろしくお願いいたします。
すいません。
はい。よろしくお願いします。
Hello, everyone. It's a joy to have the opportunity to meet you today. My name is Taihei ISHIDA, the president of TOKYO8 Global and of Taihei Corporation. TOKYO8 Global is a joint venture created to promote TOKYO8, a product born within TOKYO8, Taihei. Taihei has been treating and recycling industrial waste for nearly 60 years, mainly in Tokyo and the surrounding metropolitan area. As one of the core members of the Soltera Group, we have adopted a diversified management system in collaboration with group companies under the philosophy of sustainable society and environment. Our mission is not just treating or recycling waste. Instead, we are actively engaged in circular economy business, a business that created a flow of reusable materials that are being created from what would have been considered waste materials. We also manufacture better products from waste materials and gives back to the world. We call this upcycling. We have conducted research on microorganisms in the process of upcycling in collaboration with universities and research institutes for many years. That has been possible because we use microorganisms to decompose and treating organic waste. We are presenting to you today Tokyo8. That is the culmination of all these efforts and know-hows. Furthermore, we do not just manufacture and sell Tokyo8 as a product, nor is Tokyo8 just a fertilizer or formulation for agriculture. The business model of Tokyo8 works to constantly enrich the smallholder farmers. I have come today to this TICAD8 with a hope to prove to you and make an appeal to you that Tokyo8 has potential for making a significant contribution to environmental and social sustainability around the world. We firmly believe that, for instance, truly innovative feature of Tokyo8 could solve the problems and issues even in African countries without exception. I'm truly grateful for this opportunity today and for your precious time to make this presentation. Thank you very much in advance for your kind attention. Now I'd like to get started after my Japanese speech. 皆さん、こんにちは。東京8グローバル代表の、そして株式会社太陽油価代表の石田太平です。東京8グローバルは株式会社太陽油価の中で生まれた商品、東京8を世界に広めるために誕生したジョインベンチャーです。株式会社太陽油価は日本のキャピタルシティである東京を中心に首都圏の廃棄物を60年近く処理やリサイクルを行っている会社です。太陽油価はソルテラグループの中心的な一社として資源やエネルギー循環、持続可能な社会や環境づくりをテーマに多角的な経営形態をとっております。太陽油価はただ廃棄物を処理やリサイクルするのではなく、もとより良いものにという理念のもと、廃棄物を再資源化、もしくは廃棄物を原料に商品を製造し、世の中に還元するビジネス、循環型ビジネスを行っています。私たちはこれをアップサイクル事業とも呼んでいます。そのアップサイクル事業の工程で、長年微生物の研究も大学と研究機関とともに行ってまいりました。我々は微生物を使って廃棄物の分解処理を行っているからです。それらのノウハウや努力、すべての融合で生まれたのが、本日ご紹介したい商品の東京8でございます。さらに私たちはこの東京8をただの商品として製造販売しているのではありません。まして東京8がただの農業向けの肥料や製剤としてだけの商品でもありません。東京8のビジネスモデル自体が生活に苦労されている農家の方々を継続的に、持続的に豊かにしていける仕組みになっております。私はこのTICAD8にて、東京8が世界の環境と社会の継続性、持続性に大きく貢献できることを実証し、アピールしたいと考えています。例えば東京8の真に革新的な機能は、アフリカの諸国の問題や課題を例外なく解決できると確信しています。本日は皆様の貴重な時間をいただき、そしてこのような機会を与えていただいたことを心より感謝申し上げ、ウェビナーを開始させていただきたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。
はい、ありがとうございました。石田社長、ありがとうございました。では続きまして、東京8についてのレクチャーを、東京8グローバル取締役、石田洋平さん、よろしくお願いいたします。
はい、じゃあ始めたいと思います。Nice to see you all. My name is Yohei Shida of TOKYO8 Global.
ここから先はあれですよね、日本語のチャンネルで通訳が入るんですね。
はい、
はい。
そうです。
はい。
よろしいですか？
はい。日本の方は日本語のチャンネルでお願いいたします。
Okay, Thank you for the opportunity to make these remarks today. Let me begin by explaining our activities. We start using and manufacturing biofertilizers with local people in 15 locations in Africa, using our know-how of resource recycling. This biofertilizer increases agricultural yields and helps farmers to make money. We are unique in 3 ways. One is the speed at which results are produced. The second is affordable and can be manufactured in villages in African countries. The last one is the business model of this project, that the business is fueled through micro-franchising. The situation in the world is serious. Even without Corona and the war between Russia and Ukraine, we had from more than 100 Abe Initiative graduates, many of whom have been working in the field of agriculture and small-scale farming. In some countries, we heard that there are many people who cannot find enough work and can only make a living through family farming and small-scale agriculture. For such people, agricultural production is their lifeline. And one of the biggest problems in their country is chemical fertilizers. Most agricultural producers rely on imported chemical fertilizers, the foundation of agriculture. The cost is the same in Japan as in African countries. In fact, in many cases, they are even higher than in Japan. We do not provide support to these local people, but later work with them as business partners to build business using our know-how. Local manufacturing of biofertilizers is the starting line. TOKYO8 micro-franchising will be run as an own business by local partner franchisees. Unlike importing chemical fertilizers, local manufacturing of fertilizers is advantageous in all aspects, including labor and transportation costs. This benefits both the franchisee and the user, the farmer, and unlike support, the development of the business makes the relationship sustainable forever. Well, what is TOKYO8? TOKYO8 is a microorganism community that came from a society. Therefore, they can work in a wide variety of soil environments. TOKYO8 is a key microorganism for regenerative agriculture, which transforms soil into fertile soil. Symbiosis occurs with other soil organisms to create a natural nutrient circuit for the crop. This improves root development accelerated the harvest time and increased the yield. TOKYO8 is complementary to all other farming methods and small-scale farming support projects and can coexist and co-prosecute. It can work with any farming method and of course with regenerative agriculture, which is currently attracting attention. Therefore, if you add TOKYO8 like seasoning to project already underway in your country, it will be easier to produce results. We have an even bigger goal. Originally, our company was Taihei, a Tokyo-based recycling company in Japan. Laws and people's concepts have been nurtured over a long history since the Meiji era, and the values of resource recycling have taken root. I believe that the development of the system has been based on a combination of various conditions, such as price advantages as a second-hand company and consideration for stakeholders. We cannot be directly involved in the rules of the countries and regions where we operate. However, through agriculture, you can feel the value of recycling by experiencing the resource circulation of TOKYO8, which is made using locally unnecessary garbage. Once the value of this project is spread to many people, the TOKYO8 micro-franchising circle will expand even further. We are ready. There are many other resource recycling technologies in Japan, and with the TOKYO8 micro-franchising network, we can create projects that can be delivered to Africa, such problems that cause epidemics and pests and bombing, and landfill problems associated with the disposal of waste. TOKYO8 micro-franchising can naturally build a cooperative relationship with local people to solve these problems. I repeat, franchise is not directly managed by providing know-how, but it is a system managed by local people as owners, and the profit is left in the local area. If profits are generated, the local business can continue to develop. Since my explanation of TOKYO8 is not the main focus of today's session, I will end my talk here, and let's listen to the actual users' presentations right away. Thank you.
はい、石田洋平さんありがとうございました。続いて、ここからが本番ですが、実際の現場からのレポートをですね、アフリカの各国からお願いしたいと思います。はい。最初のレポートは、リベリアからジョナサン。
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
It's good. Good to see you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, please.
I can now begin my presentation on TOKYO8 Liberia experience. I am Jnathan F. Kpalu, Abe Initiative 5th Batch, and I'm presenting from Liberia. And so let's go to the next page. Today we will just give you few information within the next 15 minutes. And we'll talk about the team that participated in the TOKYO8 experiment in Liberia. We gave you an overview of the opportunities and challenges we have with agriculture in Liberia. We're going to tell you about our experimental plan with TOKYO8, and then the crops we cultivated, and we will provide the results and give you our own impression. And then we will also elaborate on how TOKYO8 has a benefit for Liberian farmers and our plan for TOKYO8 in Liberia. Next, please. All right, so we had 3 team members that participated in the experiment for Liberia. I, being the team leader, I graduated from the United Nations University with MSc in Sustainability Science, and my thesis focused on food security. 2 of my collaborators, my 2 collaborators, both graduated from the University of Liberia with a BSc in agronomy. 1 specialized in soil science and another in crop production. Next slide, please. All right, let's first begin with the opportunities we have with agriculture production in Liberia. From our studies, we see that about 70% of the Liberian population depend on agriculture and forestry. However, most of the farming activities occur in upland, and that involves shifting cultivation. There is also a loss of land we have for lowlands and swamplands farming, which is suitable for rice and vegetables production. About 80 to 90% yield can come from swampland as compared to upland farm. Next slide, please. All right, rice and cassava are the 2 major crops that are grown for as staple food. So in Liberia, we eat rice as our staple, and followed by cassava. Other vegetables we produce include pepper, bitter ball, okra, among others. We are also involved in tree crops production, and we have few of them listed, like cocoa, coffee, oil palm, rubber, among others. Let's go to the next slide. Let's just go through a few of the challenges we experience with agriculture production in Liberia. One thing that we see and notice is that despite of the 70% involvement in agriculture, there is low productivity. We have little technology. Most of the farming is done with subsistence farming, poor or old technology. We also have poor pest management system. And moreover, there is this extreme limited use of fertilizer. Our study shows that just about 4% of fertilizer was used per household during the Ministry of Agriculture 2018 survey on food security and nutrition. About 80% of our rice, which is the staple food, is imported. And then 18% of the population, according to the Ministry of Agriculture 2018 survey, is food insecure. So we have these major challenges in Liberia now with regard to agriculture. These are just a few of them. Next slide, please. All right, now, so we gave you our own experience with TOKYO8 experiment in Liberia. Our plan began with the soil testing. We did soil analysis to see whether the soil is feasible for production, and we had 5.98 result, which shows that it was good if we start with the vegetable or food crops we earmark. And then we did the land preparation. We divided the field into 4 plots. Each plot has 64 meters squared. And for plot 1 or field 1, we applied NPK. For field 2, we combined NPK with Detrine pesticide. And for field 3, we combined NPK, Detrine, and TOKYO8. And for field 4, we only had TOKYO8. And so we planted 5 different food crops involving palava soils, water grain, okra, cucumber, and sweet corn. Let's go to the next slide, please. For the fertilizer application, field 1, that is the NPK, was 100% fertilizer. We did not apply anything besides fertilizer, the NPK fertilizer. And for field 2, we combined the NPK and Detrine, which was 100% NPK, 100% Detrine. For field 3, we only had 20% NPK, 20% Detrine, and 100% TOKYO8. And for field 4, we only applied TOKYO8 100%. So if you look under there, you see the measurement we apply for NPK, for Detrine, and for Tokyo8. So let's go to the next slide. And so initially we had Detrine used as a pesticide in our plan. But later on, we got to understand that Tokyo8 can also be used as a pesticide. So we use our Tokyo8 in a concentrated form, 100 milliliter to 1 liter. And that was very effective on field 3 and field 4, especially for the pests that affected the sweet corn. And we did manual watering from the well. We collected water using the watering can. And that's the system. There was no irrigation system. We used the traditional method of watering. Next, please. And so let's now go into our results and see what was the outcome of our experiment. We will begin with the first crop, that is palava soils. Our experiment shows that field 3 had a higher yield in terms of production for palava soils. So field 3, we told you, had a combination of 20% NPK, 20% Detrine, and 100% Tokyo8. So as supplementing the conventional maize with a bio-fertilizer, which had a good yield, better yield, 58%, and then followed by Tokyo8 field 4, which had a next yield of 31.5%. So we see that Tokyo8 actually had greater influence over the production compared to feed 1 NPK and feed 2 NPK and Detrine. The next crop is water grain. Next slide, please. So for water grain, we also see higher yield in field 3 NPK, Detrine, and Tokyo8, having about 27 stems, followed by Tokyo8, which alone that produced 9 stems, and we see NPK had 3, NPK Detrine had nothing. So here again, we see Tokyo8 having an influence over the yield as per our plan. So let's go to the next crop. Sweet corn. And so for corn, again, we see the higher yield in field 3 for NPK, Detrine, and Tokyo8. We have in terms of germination as well as yield, although Tokyo8 had the highest yield in terms of germination rate, yet NPK, Detrine, and Tokyo8 had higher yield in terms of production. So germination rate was high in Tokyo8. However, the yield was not as high as in field 3 that had a combination of NPK, Detrine, and Tokyo8. Yet, it was because of Tokyo8 influence we have a better yield in field 3, because you see field 1, there was no yield for corn, and field 2, there was no yield for corn, despite of the germination rate. Next crop is cucumber. So can we go to the next slide, please? Cucumber. Okay, right. So again, here for cucumber, we see there is no yield at all due to some challenges we have. We can't tell whether it was because of the soil or because of climate change. We also experienced increase in temperature. However, we see higher germination rate where we have a Tokyo8 combination and Tokyo8 alone. In field 4, we see Tokyo8 had the highest germination rate, especially for the second assessment for the 4%. And then the second assessment for field 3, NPK, Detrine, and Tokyo8 is 28%. So we also see, despite of no yield, if we had had the opportunity to have yield, Tokyo8 would have had better yield than all of them. But it was an unfortunate situation, and we are yet to have a study to see what was the issue with that. However, Tokyo8 had a better influence in germination rate compared to field 1 and field 2. The last crop is okra. The scenario for okra and cucumber is the same. The next slide, please. So the scenario for okra and cucumber is the same. There was no yield at all, no considerable yield. We have just few okra producing, yet there was no considerable yield. However, we see in terms of germination rate, Tokyo8 had the highest, especially for the second assessment we did. And you can also notice that we had to do replanting because the first seeds we got did not do well. So we had to replant. And so after replanting, we also see that Tokyo8 had the highest germination rate, and the next follow with NPK and V3 as well. So that ends the experiment, the results we have with Tokyo8 for the 5 crops that we planted in the 4 fields. So let's go to our own impression. How do we see Tokyo8? And based on the experiment we conducted, we know that Tokyo8 from our experiment will promote sustainable agriculture. It has the potential of promoting sustainable agriculture. It also has the ability to enhance crop production. Hello. Hi. Are you there?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I got some interruption just now. So.
Yes, continue, please.
All right. So Tokyo8 enhances crop production by enriching the soil from our experiment. It can also be used as a pesticide, especially when it is concentrated, not in the normal or plain. It is also safe and good to use environmentally. It's safe for people's health, and it's also safe for biodiversity. As a challenge, watering was a challenge due to the drought. We have intense temperature, increase in temperature, and so even the water level dropped in the well. So it was difficult for us to have enough water to water the farm. And then the seeds were also not viable because we got them from the open field. So that was another issue we experienced. And so the benefits for Liberian farmers, the next slide, we see that if Tokyo8 is used in Liberia based on our experiment, it's going to increase production, use, and income. And that is indirect support of the SDG 2.3, which speaks of doubling productivity and incomes of small-scale producers, especially women, rural farmers, and family farmers as well. It is going to improve lowland farming because we have a vast lowland, swampland, and many persons will have now the urge to involve into lowland farming because of Tokyo8 productivity. It's also going to increase the rate of farmers, 70%, not in subsistence farming, but in productive farming. And so let's go to the next slide. We see after the experiment, we have gotten enough evidence that Tokyo8 has a greater impact on agricultural productivity. So we are planning now to build Tokyo8 production plant locally in Liberia. And we want to continue testing the Tokyo8 in rural Liberia with a mission school, and we'll use that as a pilot farm. And we also want to continue with testing the Tokyo8 on tree crops, especially with cocoa. So thank you very much for your attention. We hope we can meet and interact during the question and answer section. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Okay. You're welcome.
Hi. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
ありがとうございます。Very, very interesting. Yeah, thank you, thank you. ありがとうございました。プロダクションプラントについては最後の4つ目のレポートを楽しみにしておいてください。はい。では続いてですね、短期さん。レソトという国から短期さん。 Mr. Tanki.ミュート。ミュートを外してください。ミュートですね、まだ。
Can you speak just to see if you can hear me?
Hello. Hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hi. Hi, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity given. My name is Tanki Mochochoko. I am a Lesotho citizen, currently residing in Lesotho. I am the alumni of the Nagasaki University, which is based in Kyushu in Japan, where I was studying towards Master of Engineering in Water and Environment between 2019 to 2021. Okay, my stay in Japan was made, or my study in Japan was made possible by the scholarship which was provided by the ABE Initiative program, which is the concept or the scholarship which was born in TICAD8, which was held in 2015 in Japan. So I'm very proud that I'm the beneficiary of the concept which was born in the same discussion as this one. Okay, today we are going to present the research which is based on TOKYO8, just like my colleague has just done. And I should mention that even before I start my presentation, this collaborative work, which myself and another beneficiary of the ABE Initiative program, who is Mr. Tsulo Mahasi, and TOKYO8 Global Company. This was born in one of the fairs, the business fairs that we had in Tokyo, I think sometime in 2019. I think I should have mentioned that the birth of ABE Initiative program from the beginning was meant to ensure that there is capacity building on human resource development in Africa, and also to strengthen networking between Japan businesses and African countries. And today, 2 years down the line, since 2019 or 2020, we are here with this presentation as a collaborative work that has emerged from that business frame. I'm very thankful for that. Now, without any waste of time, let me quickly dive into the business of the day, which is evaluating the effectiveness of TOKYO8 on horticultural crop production in Lesotho. Before I go further into talking about TOKYO8, which I know that all our ears are itching to hear, can I quickly make an overview about Lesotho? Okay. This is just, Lesotho is just a small country, which is just based down south of on the African continent, and is completely surrounded by Lesotho, as you can see here. By South Africa, as you can see. It's about 33,000 square kilometers. And if I were to bring this into perspective for the Japanese people, then this is like 2 times the size of Iwate Prefecture. Now, so basically, as I said, I'm currently based in this. Lesotho is divided into 10 administrative districts. And currently I'm residing in the capital city, which is Maseru. And this is where also the activities or the activities relating to Tokyo8 are also taking place. So every other thing that I'll be talking about that relates to Tokyo8 will be taking place or was taking place in this particular district. Okay, still on. Citizens and schooling. Hello. Can you hear me? Sorry about that. I think maybe the network issue. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just saying that Lesotho has got 4 seasons, summer, winter, autumn, and spring. So this is what you're likely to get in winter at this particular altitude. The place where you are likely to get 4 weather changes just in one day. Still on this, then these are some of the places that you cannot afford to miss the moment you land in Lesotho. These are some of the biggest dams that we pride ourselves with, which are used for revenue generation for the country. On the side of the culture, you cannot afford to miss how Basotho people live, from their norms, culture, even to the lifestyle. On the economy side, we rely so much on not only livestock production, but in agriculture in general, as my fellow Liberian has said. And agriculture contributes about 4.8% of Lesotho's GDP. It's not only agriculture, but also we have some mining industries or mining sector, which has been on the rise since 2000. And you can see that it has been increasing significantly since 2000. And we also have the garment industries, which take advantage of the African Growth and Economic Opportunity Act, which is AGOA in short, which allows products coming from Africa, and Lesotho being one of them, to enter freely into the US market. And also the fish, trout, which is also being exported to Japan. About 90% of the trout, high quality trout that we produce here, I'm happy to say that is being exported to Japan, among other countries. All right, that was that about a short overview about Lesotho. Let's get into what I think we need to hear most. So despite these milestones that I've just mentioned, which are positive about the country, Lesotho, climate variability characterized by strong weather events, population growth, and pollution have caused negative impacts on sustainable food production across the region of the African continent, for which Lesotho is not exception. This is according to this offer here. In 2020 alone, over 26% of the population was faced with food crisis due to unprecedented impacts of COVID-19 and erratic weather events. which have caused further decline in food production in 3 consecutive years, leading to an economic decline of about 5%. And it is on this notion that we felt that agriculture in Lesotho needs to be boosted in order to improve not only agricultural productivity and production, but also to ensure that food security, as dictates some of the SDGs, is being maintained. And we felt that one of the ways in which we can master this, or we can reduce hunger in Lesotho, is through mainstreaming of TOKYO8 as one of the agricultural inputs in Lesotho, which we think that it will go a long way in changing the status quo in agricultural sector in Lesotho. Now, you might have heard me talking about TOKYO8 and TOKYO8. What could this TOKYO8 be? This is an organic biofertilizer which is made using the community of microorganisms, as has been explained by some of the colleagues here who talked before me. And it was developed by wastewater treatment experts in Tokyo. Although TOKYO8 is as a result of the microorganisms from the treatment works, it is harmless, it is odorless, and above it all, it has been approved for use in agriculture in Japan. And these are some of the advantages that TOKYO8 presents over the known or the commercial fertilizers. Of course, by virtue of being a biofertilizer, it is environmentally benign. It is environmentally friendly. It also enhances nutrients availability to plants for improved agricultural productivity and production. And it is highly cost effective. And in this case, we are taking the case of Kenya, where they realized that they reduced spending on inputs by using TOKYO8. So vegetables grow healthier and tastier, improving food safety, yield, and quality. These are some of the advantages. Okay, in light of these advantages, as a Lesotho team, we were interested in having the trials back here in Lesotho to see if the same TOKYO8, which is being used in Japan, could equally be effective here in Lesotho. So as a result, we made some demonstration plots in this past cropping season of about 40 square meter each plot. And in one plot, we applied TOKYO8, while in another plot, there was no application of TOKYO8 at all. I should have mentioned that the only difference here was that there was TOKYO8 on plot 1, while on plot 2, there wasn't any TOKYO8 applied. But treatment was the same across the 2 plots. And the distance in between the plots was about a meter. So what we did as the matter of protocol was to apply TOKYO8 soon after soil preparation. And after that, then we planted our seedlings. So in this case, we were targeting to have a green coronet planted, as well as butter beans. But I will explain later why I had to exclude the butter beans, the plot on the preparation for the butter beans, because of the challenges that we encountered during this past cropping season. So at the end of the day, this is what we have results to present upon on the green coronet. So this is how we applied TOKYO8 throughout this past cropping season, as we're having a green coronet. So 2 weeks after this, in this case, it wouldn't be seeding, but transplanting, we applied TOKYO8. And after that, then we applied it one more time after 3 weeks. And this is how we applied it up until we reached the maturity of the cabbage. We were doing this using the knapsack sprayer, and we were made aware that we shouldn't use the knapsack sprayer, which is being used for application of the chemicals. And for that, this particular knapsack sprayer was particularly used for the application of TOKYO8. And I should also mention that throughout the application process, we never made use of the agrochemicals, which are used to take care of the weeds, different types of weeds. All right, these are the results. On the left is is where the TOKYO8 was applied. This is green coronet. On the right, this is where TOKYO8 was never applied. I should have also mentioned that this was done at the same time, or the planting or the transplanting was done at the same time. But I think the difference is quite very remarkable, very significant, that this particular cabbage here is quite much bigger than, in terms of its head, bigger than this cabbage on the right-hand side. And for me, this came as a surprise because I didn't expect much of the difference. I knew that probably if it has been certified in Japan, probably maybe it might work here, but I didn't expect to see such a difference. So you can see the difference is quite very big. And I'm not sure, one of the speakers talked about TOKYO8 making crops also juicier. I don't know, this one also seems to be juicier, even though we did not test. I mean, we could not probably cook both of them to test the aspect of taste. But I think the difference is quite very huge. This is myself and my colleague where TOKYO8 was not applied. I should also mention that we had a big challenge of flooding, heavy rainfall. As a result, the growth rate of the crops across the plot is not uniform. However, we tried to sample at the same place to see the difference. So this is where there was no application of TOKYO8. In the next slide, this is where TOKYO8 was applied. I think the difference is still significant. It can just be seen. What we, however, did not do was to do the measurement of all the response variables to come up with conclusive results, simply because of what I have alluded to in my earlier statement, that we encountered the greatest challenge of floods in the country throughout the entire cropping season. Okay, I made mention of the butter beans, and because of the flooding, the butter beans could not stand the floods, and therefore they simply perished. And therefore we felt no need to actually bring them here as part of the presentation, because there was nothing significant that we can extract out of it in as far as the application of TOKYO8 is concerned. Okay, that was that relating to the experiments. And we feel that we did not do much of the scientific data collection and data analysis. And probably because of what I have said, the problem of the flooding. And I think we also had another problem of the limited human resource. And I think when we introduced this TOKYO8 at the time, we didn't have much of the good plan in place to see how this is going to be done. And because of the flooding, then we also had a challenge of leaching of the nutrients. the nutrients were never available for the crops to be used because of this excessive rainfall. And for that, we are aware that we cannot conclusively say the results that we see it's due to Tokyo8. It could have been by chance because we didn't do many trials. But we are determined that in this current cropping season, we will be more intentional in our strategy, and we will make sure that we at least have several crops to test on. And also, I will also be having some students under my supervision that will be working on this. These students, it will be diploma students whose projects will be purely on Tokyo8, and also testing its efficiency, or testing whether it performs better even here in Africa or not. So I think we are very intentional in our strategy this time around, and we hope that we will come up with very conclusive results this time around as opposed to. And well, we realize that the issue of the floods has become one of the problems in the country. And therefore, we have embarked in a journey to collaborate with people who have tunnels, so that we can do our trials in tunnels where we wouldn't have effects of these natural disasters like excessive heavy rainfall. Okay, so with the few Tokyo8, the cabbages that we produced, we went out to the streets selling, and I think the customers were more inclined towards buying produce or cabbage produced from area where Tokyo8 was supplied than from the other plot. And even though we did not measure the weight, but the difference in weight was also too significant, to an extent that it could only be noticed and differentiated by all the people that were buying from us. And I think this came as a positive sign to us to say that we need to be very strategic this time around in a way we apply Tokyo8 so as to come with the conclusive results. And other farmers whom we introduced Tokyo8 to, they were very keen, eager to have Tokyo8 too, so that they can try it. And Inora-san and Nobu-san had sent us 30 liters, which we had promised to send to a few farmers so that we can have multiplier effect. But unfortunately, it didn't come. It hasn't arrived as yet. And I've been following on it, but to date, it still has not come. And I don't know what is the problem. So there is quite a number of farmers who want Tokyo8. And I hope that Nobu-san will find means to send us another 30 liters, so that while we are doing the trial here, a few lead farmers can also try trials elsewhere, so that the multiplier effect is increased. Okay, the future plans. Okay, so what we need to do after this current cropping season, we will have to undertake the need assessment survey to see how many of the people are in need of Tokyo8. Of course, we intend to do better marketing of Tokyo8 by just giving a few farmers Tokyo8 so that they can also apply on their fields, and also do need assessment. And if this passes, what the ultimate goal is this one: we would need to set up a plant locally so that we can produce Tokyo8 locally so that we can serve all our stakeholders, mainly the farmers. That's the future play. With this, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my presentation regarding my perception and the way I see Tokyo8 or the experiments that we have heard about Tokyo8. Thank you very much.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you, Tanki-san, arigato.
Thank you very much.
So the shipping is a very huge trouble. So 今のウクライナ危機の問題で、その国際輸送が本当に大変でですね、ちょっと荷物が届きませんでした。はい。では、続きまして、マラウィからのレポートは、ビクトリアさんです。はい、マラウィのビクトリアさん。
Hello.
Hi, hello.
Hey. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Victoria. I'm from Malawi. I'm an ABE ex-participant. I graduated in March this year, and I came back from Japan in June. So I'm only 2 months in Malawi. I'm a graduate from Tokyo University of Agriculture, and I was studying Master of Agriculture Science, but my main focus was Agriculture Development Economics. And next. Yeah, so my presentation outline is about the introduction about me. Who am I? What have I done so far professionally and education-wise? And my collaboration team, both in Japan and in Malawi, the experiments of the cultivated vegetables. About the results, I don't have much because I've just said that I'm just 2 months in Malawi, but so far I think I have made progress. The impression about Tokyo8 in my future plans. Next. Yeah, so as I said, I'm Victoria, and I also mentioned about my MSc, which I obtained from Japan. It's agriculture science. I also have a BSc in agriculture economics and agribusiness. And I also have a diploma in agriculture and natural resources management that I obtained in 2006 in Malawi at the Natural Resources College. Next. Yeah, so professionally, I'm the agribusiness officer for Kalonga district. I work with the Ministry of Local Government in the agricultural sector, and I've also worked before as an agriculture extension development officer. So I think that's where the interest of working on Tokyo8 is coming from. I have coordinated a lot of projects whilst in Malawi before I traveled to Japan. And right now I'm also coordinating another project. But before I traveled to Japan, I coordinated the CJSP project that was trying to help farmers and the youth to create jobs, especially those farmers that were producing soybeans. I also coordinated the Farm Income Diversification Project. This is an EU project that was trying to help farmers to come together as cooperatives and do agro-processing. I also coordinated the UN Women project, the Women Economic Empowerment Project, and it involved the women and the youth. And I also coordinated the JICA project, a market-oriented smallholder empowerment and promotion project before I traveled. Right now, I'm coordinating a trade project. It's a transformation project for farmers, and they're also going to be involved in the production, agro-processing, and even trading with other countries. Next. Yeah, so for the international trainings, I've done the market-oriented and agriculture promotion planning management in Japan in 2018 at Kansai, JICA Kansai. I also did the linking farmers to markets, challenges and opportunities in New Delhi in India, and participated in the participatory market development system in Zimbabwe. And whilst I was still a student in Tanzania, I attended the international trade training in Tanzania. Next. Yeah, so in terms of collaboration, I'm still collaborating with my team that I was working with in Japan. They are from Tanzania and Eritrea, but basically I'm more into interaction with the guy from Tanzania because it's like neighboring countries. I'm also having a team here. We have two officers, CLOPS officers, Mr. Nkwelela and Mr. Mwanje. These are the guys that are working with me on TOKYO8 in Kalonga district. Next. Yeah, so what's the agroecological zone in Malawi? Malawi agroecological zone is divided into three, but it's categorized based on the soil factors, the altitude, the amount of rainfall, and the temperatures. And so far, Malawi has got two seasons. We have the dry season and the wet season. So the wet season starts from October to April, but now with the climate changes, it starts in December, unlike the usual one. So this is still the documented one, but literally it has changed over time. And the dry season is from May to September. Next. Yeah, so as we can see, the Malawi population growth and projection is telling us that by 2050, we are going to have 38 million people, 142, which is a very big rise from right now because we are about 20 million. So looking at this and looking at the country that we are depending more on agriculture activities, directly and indirectly, this population is giving us more hope that we should improve on the agricultural production, productivity, and agricultural commercialization for us to develop as a country. Next. Yeah, so Malawi has got a potential land of 5,738,000 hectares, but what we have cultivated so far is just half of that, meaning we have a lot of land that is not used because of a lot of issues, talk of mechanization problems, talk of input rise prices and the other factors. And we mainly depend on the land set, and that means we only have 10% of the irrigated dependency. That makes it very hard for us to have enough food because we are producing once in a year. Unlike when we are depending on irrigation and rain fed, it means that we'll be producing thrice or twice in a year. The land holding size for men is for 68% and for women is 32%. It also, and that's contributed mainly maybe because of our cultural practices. The main crops that we are growing in Malawi is corn. We call it maize in Malawi. Groundnut, beans, cassava, rice. Tobacco is our commercial crop, but it's going down. And then rice has taken over to be a commercial crop because a food crop, but right now because of the prices that are there on the market for rice, then it's becoming a cash crop. Agriculture is employing about 85% of the people in Malawi, and the GDP contribution is 30 to 35%. It's mostly changes, but that's the range that we are having in Malawi for agricultural contribution on the GDP. Next. Yeah, so those are just some of the crops that we are producing in Malawi. You can see rice, you can see maize, you can see leafy vegetables, you can see the groundnut and beans over there. But we have a lot of crops, like a lot of horticultural crops and fruits also we produce in Malawi. Next. Yeah, so about fertilizer in Malawi. How is the fertilizer access and how are Malawians using the fertilizer? So our national fertilizer policy of 2020 is envisioning that Malawi should be commercial because we are dependent on agriculture. And therefore, there is a need to increase the use of high quality fertilizer. There is also a need to increase the number of people or private sector investment in fertilizer production, and to reduce the prices of fertilizer, because it's like each and every month in Malawi, because of the global crisis and even the economical factors in Malawi, the prices are increasing almost each and every year. And also they are promoting private partnership in the fertilizer production. And that's what interested me to partner with Taihei in terms of Tokyo8, because I'm also trying to contribute to what the government is already trying to promote. Next. Yeah, so farmers' access to fertilizer is not easy because of different reasons. We talk about the high prices that I've already mentioned. We talk about the road network and distances from the market to where the farmers are producing. No production company in Malawi right now. So it's like most of the time, it's just the blending. We are not producing. We're just blending the fertilizers, and that's making it tough for us to have or to reduce the cost of fertilizers. And also, we have only few traders that are involved in that business because of the tariffs that are attached to the fertilizer, and also where the fertilizer is coming from. Next. Yeah, so what are the activities that I've done in the 2 months that I've been here? Since I came, I haven't really rested. I just went straight on the ground to start this because I have the passion to make sure that I fulfill what I want for the farmers in order to improve their livelihood and also to improve their economical welfare at the household level, at the district level. I hope by the end of the day, I may also try to even contribute countrywide. So I did the briefing and awareness meetings about the Tokyo8 with my fellow officers at my office where I'm working, and also with the farmers, so that they should know that there is this product. And the feedback is just very overwhelming that I'm not able to meet the demand. But so far, I think so good about the sensitization and what I've done. I also did the site selection on where I'm going to produce the crops so that I can try the Tokyo8, because I already have the experience about Japan when I did my internship with Taihei. But I also want to do the same and see if the results can be the same in Malawi. So far we have had a nursery establishment, and also we have already planted some of the vegetables that are still on the ground right now. So we haven't really harvested, but at least we are trying to harvest it, especially the vegetables. We have tried like twice. So we are seeing that there's a good progress on the Tokyo8. Next. Next. Hello. Yeah, so I have my experimental design. It's not in the slides, but I hope Jnathan will try to share it so that I can explain it. But this is when we were just designing the field where we are going to plant the tomato and the leafy vegetables. Yeah, so this is my experiment. Like I'm having 2 types of experiments where I have 3 treatments and also 4 treatments. So We are going to have a plot that has a normal fertilizer application. We are going to have another one that has Tokyo8, and we'll have another one that has Tokyo8 and NPK, or Tokyo8 and Urea. And then we also have another design that will now try to do almost the same thing, but we are also going to have a control. So we will do, the control will be the normal fertilizer application. And then we'll have Tokyo8 only. That is combining with manure. So we are using cow dung or pig dung. We are not using anything apart from these two. So these are the kind of manure that we are using. And we'll use the other one, Tokyo8 with the usual fertilizer, and Tokyo8 with a half of the usual fertilizer, so that we can see how all these are performing. Next. Yeah, so far, as I said, that I just went straight on the ground. So to your right hand side, those are the 3 weeks vegetables that we applied the Tokyo8. And this is when just we were going to the field to do the watering. And to me, I feel like the vegetables are performing very good. When you look at the soil color, it's almost red. It doesn't feel like it was really there is fertility in the soil, but with the application of the Tokyo8 and we are seeing that in the manure, we are seeing that there is a fast growth of the vegetables on the small plot that we tried. Next. Next. Yeah, so what's my impression about the Tokyo8 fertilizer? This one is reduces the usage of chemical fertilizers, and that's very good for us because it means we are going to reduce the cost of production. As I've already said, that the cost of fertilizer in Malawi is just very high. And with the continuance of the Tokyo8, we feel like there is time that we are going to reach, and then we'll stop completely using the chemical fertilizers. We'll just concentrate on the Tokyo8 because the improvement of the soil structure, the aeration, development of the roots improvement, it helps the soil not to be very in a bad condition, but it helps the soil to improve, and therefore no need to add other chemical fertilizers because there is already fertility in the soil. Next. And when you look at the picture, this is when we were just going around the field where we are doing our demonstrations. Yeah, so this is just a backyard garden, as you're seeing, where there is a sprayer, and those are on top of that, those are the vegetables that you can see down there. After 3 weeks, that's what we have up there. So my impression is that Tokyo8 improves soil health through quickening of decomposition of the organic matter, and Tokyo8 is easy to produce and low cost. As you know, we are only using the local materials from Malawi and the stock product that we already got from Japan. When I was coming, I came with Tokyo8. I already have it here. And just last week, the other Japanese friend already came with other bottles. And right now, I'm also expecting the other chunk of Tokyo8 that is already on its way. So it's like I'm already having the raw materials and those that are already here, and that helps me to not have problems and not to have a higher cost of what I'm going to invest. Next. Yeah, so what are the challenges so far? I'm unable to meet the demand. I'm having a lot of demand from farmers. But because of the amount of Tokyo8 that I have right now, I'm still wanting just to concentrate on the areas that have already started to implement the production of crops using the Tokyo8 fertilizer. And there are also mobility challenges. For me to reach very far places, it's a problem because we have a fuel hike. So I'm only going around the EPAs that are close to the district where I am. I'm not going very far from where I am. But still more, I feel that's like a learning process because I will learn from the few areas that are close to me. And then after some time now, I can extend to other far areas. In Malawi, the time for time for registration certificate for the product for us to register here, it takes a long time. It's like about 3 seasons. So for me to register this product, it will mean I have to produce this year during the winter season, like I'm doing now, irrigated produce. Then I have to produce again the Lene fed. Then I have to produce again the irrigated one. So it's 3 seasons. So it's like 1.5 years. It means I will register maybe in December next year or else in 2024, early 2024, around January or February. And then the cost also is very high. It's about $5,000 US, which is not easy to have for the research to register the product. But I'm having the overwhelming response from the farmers, as I said. And then I need also enough fund for me to finalize my production plant for it to be installed and for me to produce more Tokyo8 so that I can distribute it countrywide. Next. Yeah, so what are my future plans on Tokyo8? So as I said, I want to get certification from the Department of Research, and I want to install the factory that produces Tokyo8 in Malawi for me to distribute to a lot of people, a lot of farmers, especially the whole northern region and extending to other regions in Malawi. That's all from me. Thank you very much. I'm very hopeful, and I feel like in the 2 months that I've been here, I've done a lot if we have to compare the time and what I've done so far. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you very much. Victoria さん、どうもありがとうございました。はい、皆さんたくさん質問があると思うので、質問はQ&A のところに、書いてくださいね。では、最後の現地からの報告、最後はですね、モザンビークからの報告です。モザンビークでは実際にこのTokyo8の現地生産を始めております。では、モザンビークから、シュンさん、お願いいたします。
はい、モザンビークの佐藤です。音声聞こえますでしょうか？
はい、よく聞こえます。
はい。今日はですね、私、佐藤ともう一人、スタッフのラファエルが参加しています。ラファエルもこのズームに今入っています。ラファエル、¿puede ligar su tecla? ちょっと、あれだな。お願いします。はい。モザンビークで、ご存知の方もいらっしゃるかもしれません。今日、レソトですとか、マラウィですとか、近くの国からの、参加もあるようで、非常に、嬉しく思っています。私は日本の生まれで、モザンビークに来て3年くらいになりますけれども、このアフリカの南の方にある国で、マダガスカルの対岸というと、日本の方は分かりやすいと思います。他のアフリカの国でも同じように、都市部と 地方都市と農村部で、結構経済の状況も生活の状況も大きく、異なっております。で、私が普段いるのはこの農村部のリバウエというところなんですけれども、今日は電波の都合もあって、都市に出た方がいいだろうとちょっと判断して、リバウエから140キロほど、幸い舗装された道路があるので、2時間ぐらいかけて、この地方都市のリバウエ、ナンプラに出てきております。アフリカは所得の低い国が多いですけれども、その中でもモザンビークは特に低い国の一つで、平均にすると年10万円ぐらい、というようなイメージを持っていただけるといいと思います。私どもはもともと2000年に、日本植物燃料という名前で、植物燃料、バイオディーゼルの会社として始まっています。日本でのバイオディーゼルを輸入して、国内のバス会社さんなどに卸すというのが最初の仕事でしたが、2000年代後半からモザンビークでの仕事、ジャトロファーという、植物を使った、地産地消のエネルギーということで、モザンビークに最初入ってきました。最初は研究予算なども使いながらですね、入ってきて、そこから株式会社ですので、事業化していったということです。モザンビークでは10年ほどの経験がありまして、近年セネガルの方も展開をしています。主な領域は、食料に関する領域、エネルギーに関する領域、それからお金、ファイナンスに関するような領域に取り組んでいまして、弊社のパッションとしては、平和を構築する、ピースエンジニアリングと呼んでますけれども、原爆の被害もあった唯一の国でもありますので、同じような問題を繰り返さないためには、生活の基盤であるエネルギーやフードの安定した生産、供給、分配というのが必要だと考えています。ですので、そういう食料とかエネルギーを生産し、それをお金の仕組みも含めて公正に分配していくというところに力を入れています。日本の会社ですので、テクノロジーには強みがありますし、それからいろんなアクター、コミュニティの、よく村づくりに参加する会社ですという説明の仕方もしますけれども、特に農村部のコミュニティには深く入っていて、他のビジネスの会社とも共同していて、またアフリカビジネスさまざまなリスクがありますので、政府機関、国際機関などとも連携してさまざま事業を行ってきております。はい。2022年頃からいろいろなことをやってきているんですけれども、近年力入れているのは、一つデジタルなプラットフォーム、弊社ではデジタル総合農業という言い方をしていますけれども、売買のマッチング、農産物だけではなくて、東京8などもそうだと思いますが、農業資材も含めて、売買のマッチングができるようなプラットフォームを作っていまして、このあたりの普及に力を入れています。今、だいたいモザンビークで11万5千人ぐらいメンバーになっている方々がいます。はい。で、今日のお話は、東京8が、弊社としても魅力を感じていて、どこまでトライアルが進んでいるかというところを共有させていただければと思います。私、今、都市の方出てきてますけども、ラファエルが農村部の方に残っていますので、ぜひ実際のプラントの様子を今日はつなげたらなと思っております。スライドいろいろ用意しましたが、あくまで資料ということで、何か質問があったら、詳しく説明するときに使いたいと思ってます。ざっくりお伝えしたいと思いますが、まず、このプラントの設置を始めたのが今年の2月頃です。さまざまな部材の調達を始めました。で、大体、材料費はタンクが半分ぐらいかかって10万円くらい。で、その他、この屋根ですとか、地面揃えたりとか、そういうことに10万ぐらいかかってます。この場所自体はオフィスを持っていましたので、月 3万、4万円ぐらいで借りているオフィスなんですけども、その一角に場所を設置しました。人件費はこの中には入っていません。20万円というのは、投資できる金額だと思います。弊社のような、いろいろ動いている会社であれば、スタートするのに、お金の規模感としては投資できると思いますけれども、実際いろんなものを調達するのに、多分思っている以上にも難しさがあるっていうことは、今日共有したいなと思ってます。ナンプラーまで来ると、さまざまな資材のお店があって、こういうところでタンクですとか、パイプですとか、そのパイプをつなぐものですとかを調達していきました。パイプの調達は簡単だったんですが、パイプをつなぐ部分の調達が非常に難しくてですね、これをつなげるのに、いくつもアダプターをかませないといけないっていうので、アダプターだけで5000円します、1万円しますっていう話になってきて、タンクより高いよねというようなこともあったりして、だいぶこれが苦労しました。最終的にいろんなネジ切る方法とか様々提案されたんですけれども、これだと強度怖いというアドバイスもいただきまして、なんとか探して、調達ができたというところです。その後、水のタンクのテストとか、ポンプですね。ポンプはこの地方都市では手に入らなかったので、首都まで行って調達をしました。中華製のポンプ手に入れて、でそれからエアーストーンが手に入らなかったので、何か他のもので代用しようというのもいろいろ試みたんですけれども、スポンジつけるぐらいだったら何もつけなくてもいいよなというような結果でしたので、何もつけないので始めましたが、ご協力いただきまして、日本から送っていただいて、オペレーションを始めたというところです。で、プラントのオペレーションは5月頃から、5月の下旬から始めましたので、現在3ヶ月くらい経っており、今のところ、問題なく、水漏れもないですし、何か、匂いがするようになってうまくいってないとか、そういうこともなく、進んでいると思っています。水と東京8と、それから、追加をするときには、牛糞、フレッシュマニュアが必要だということで、付き合いのあった農業学校に牛がいましたので、その牛の糞を最初使い始めました。で日々のメンテナンスしながら進めてます。こちらは、そうですね、日本から送ってもらったエアストーンで、日本だと2週間ぐらいでと言われたそうですけども、結局1ヶ月半、2ヶ月くらいかかりました。それから私どもではなくて、他のところの、間違えて届けられたようで、ただ引き取るのにお金が必要なんですね。で、間違えて引き取って開けてみたら、自分たちは何に使うか分かんないもんだったと思うんで、多分返してくれて、無事に届いたっていう経緯もありました。最近はですね、ロバを飼い始めていますので、このロバの糞を使って、トライしています。ロバの糞がちょっとコロコロとした糞で、これを溶けるのに少し時間がかかるようだったので、最初は丸ごと入れてましたけれども、最近はばらしてから、水の中に入れるようにしております。で、出来上がったものを配布するためには、容器が必要ですけれども、こういうペットボトルの容器ですね。岩山から水が取れて、で、その水を売ってるような地域でもあるので、そこの、ペットボトルがお店で使われた後に、買い取ってですね、だいたい1本あたり5円ぐらいで買い取って、それを再利用しています。今進んでいるのは、この生産が始まって無事に、うまくいっていますというところまでなんですけれども、実際の農場でのテストもいろいろアドバイス、説明いただきながら始めています。主に行っているのはピーマンへのテストで、農場の中に浅い井戸を掘って、そこからの水と合わせて、 東京8を使う区画、使わない区画を設定して、比較をしようというようなことをやっております。はい。散布の方法は、ここでは一番安い方法でやろうということで、スプレイヤーではなくて、じょうろを使った散布にしております。はい。私のスライドは以上なんですけれども、ラファエルの方から少し、様子を共有したいと思います。Rafael, ¿puede falar? ¿Puede oír? Por favor, micrófono. Por favor, ligar su micrófono. Ya. Rafael, entonces, por favor, mostrar esa situación de tanques y también burros, por favor.
Please show us the situation of the tanks.
今、プラントのタンクの様子と、あと、ロバもいるようなので、ちょっとロバの様子を見せてもらおうと思ってます。
So right now he's going to show us the situation of the plant and also the donkey.
はい、これタンクの様子ですが、今、電気はあるようですので、エアポンプが動いている状態です。もし何かアドバイスがあればまたいただきたいなと思っております。Rafael, ¿puede mostrar más? Okay. はい、このように、動いておりまして、今は電気はオフィスから延長コードを使って電気を引いています。時期によっては電気が停電することもありますので、できたらソーラーで動かせたらいいなと思ってるんですけれども、ちょっとまだそこには至っていません。はい、では、モザンビークからの発表以上です。
はい、ありがとうございました。佐藤さんどうも本当にありがとうございました。わざわざ都市部までご移動いただいて、ありがとうございました。完璧な、プレゼンテーションでございました。はい、そうですね。これはどうですか、佐藤さん、モザンビークの農民の方に対するいいサポートになりそうな感じですかね。
はい、反応はですね、非常に興味を持ってくれています。ですので、まずニーズがあるっていうことは確かだと思います。ですので、ここからは何を見せていかないといけないかっていうと、どういう条件でどのような効果があるかっていうのをもっと説明できるように、あるいは見せられるように、していきたいなという段階です。いくつかすでに試してくれている方々がいるんですけれども、感覚としては何か緑が濃くなった気がするとか、そういう意味でのいい反応はすでに得られています。はい、以上です。
ありがとうございます。全体のスケジュール結構押してしまってるので、本当は一回休憩を挟んでから質疑応答というふうに思ってたんですけれども、ラスト15分ぐらいなんで、このまま質問の方に、行きたいと思います。すでにたくさんの質問を、Q&A の方からいただいておりまして、もうすでに答えてしまっている質問も中にはあります。例えば、 東京都の現地生産のコストについてのご質問がいくつかあったんですが、今日の佐藤さんのプレゼンテーションの中で、日本円で20万円。まあ、US2000 ドルぐらいですね。で、ここに関しては、洋平さん、他の国ではいくらぐらいでできてましたですかね。
すいません。ですね、他の国だと15万円から、ソーラー入れると大体30万円くらいかかるんですよね。で、今回、ちょっと、モザンビークの場合、佐藤さんのところの場合は、どうしても塩ビ管とかの継ぎ手関係、部品がちょっと調達しづらい環境にあったんで、ちょっと、その分お金がかかっちゃったのかなっていうところがあるんですよね。だいたい15万円から30万円の間っていうふうに見ていただければいいかなと思います。
はい、ありがとうございます。あとですね、そうですね、東京8が何者なのかということについて、植物がなんで上手に吸収するんでしょうか。これはバイオ肥料はもしかするとバイオ成長促進剤なんでしょうか。その辺を開発者もしくは科学者から説明してほしいというご質問があったんですけども。これも洋平さんいけますかね。
はい。わかりました。まずですね、東京8はバイオファテライザーです。で、有機物をですね、かなり強力に分解します。なぜかというと、もともと私たちの事業自体が、水処理といって、ウエストウォーターの、リサイクルがメインですので、で、そこで使っている微生物が東京8の正体になります。本当はもっと詳しく東京8の説明を科学的にしたいんですけれど、この辺はですね、また後日、様々なコンテンツで、皆さんにお知らせしていきたいと思いますので、よろしくお願いいたします。よろしいですか？
はい。はい。あと、佐藤さんに質問が来ていて、家畜の糞を変えたというお話があったんですけども、何か糞を変えることによってできた製品に違いは感じられましたでしょうか？
今のところ、特に違いはまだ感じられていないです。家畜の糞を変えた理由は、もともとちょっと距離があるところ、20キロぐらい行ったところから、その牛の糞をいただいてたんですけれども、若干距離があるっていうのもあって、ロバが来たっていうタイミングがありましたので、同じように使えるかなと思いまして、それでスタートしたっていうのが理由でした。ですので、効果の違いというのは特にまだ感じられていません。
その使うべき家畜について、洋平さんの方からインフォメーションありますかね？
基本的にはですね、特に別にバイオマスであれば何でも構わないんですが、もっと言ってしまえば、海藻とか、あと魚の、廃棄するものだとか、そういったものでも構わないと思います。ただ、いい？
はい、
ただですね、鳥の糞に関しましては、鳥類っていうのはなかなかちょっとその消化があまりよろしくないので、結構、なんていうんですか、有機物が、食べたものの原型に近い形におりますので、ちょっと時間をかけないと馴染まないかなと思います。
わかりました。はい。あと、ジュナさん、いますか？ ジュナさんへの質問がありまして。
So Jnathan, are you here? There's a question for you.
Oh.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. 今回NPK と農薬で発芽率が違ったという報告してくれたんですが、その発芽率が高かった理由をどのように観察されましたかということなんですが、どのような理由がある？
All right. So the first one, we started with the trial commenced here. We started planting in January. So precisely January 21st, we started the planting process. But the preparation started in December, and in January we started planting. And it was the 21st we started the first application on the soil. So we applied the NPK and the fertilizer the next day, and then we did the planting. So it was around the 21st of January. So that was during the dry season. So I don't know whether that answered the first question. So the harvest, so it was between January to June. The harvest ended in June. So the last harvest we did was in June. So the whole process was between January and June of this year.
And for the second, could you share with us the reasons on what the plots where you applied to create only the germination rate is higher than the place where you applied the 8 combined with NPK and pesticide?
Is it on for which crop? Is it in general? Because
it was on okra or on okra.
Was on okra. Yes. So on okra. So there is not a specific answer that we can give based on our observation, because when we compare the use of TOKYO8 NPK and Jnathan, in terms of yield, it became higher in some places than TOKYO8 alone. So in terms of germination rate, where you have an okra, you have a higher germination rate of TOKYO8, and then in NPK Jnathan, you also have lower germination rate. Even when you look at the variation, it's not that much. You're going to see not too wide gap with in terms of that. So I think that TOKYO8 actually has a potential to influence germination rate of crops. So whether it is alone or whether it's in combination, if you supplement it with the conventional means, it produces a higher rate. If it is alone, even if TOKYO8 is applied alone, it also increases the germination rate. So I just feel that TOKYO8 has a lot of potential to enhance the soil nutrients, and that is just my own observation.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if I was able to answer, but if the participant had another view of what they thought of the question, maybe they can come up with another input.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. So the 発芽率については日本の方から何かコメントありますか？ ヨヘイさん。
はい。ですね、発芽率に関しましては、結構いろんなところで使ってもらってるんですけれど、割と発芽率が高くなったりとか、あと根張りが良くなるっていう傾向は結構出ています。
そうですね。それに関しては日本の報告を今度30日に行いますので、 よりリアルな発芽における実験結果もですね、30日には日本サイドから報告させていただきたいと思います。
はい、よろしくお願いします。
そして今日はもう一個、質問があって、これ答えた方がいいのがですね、有機物、糞を使うということだったんで、それの置き場が困るんじゃないかっていうご質問があってですね、今回のプラントオペレーション上、その有機物、家畜の糞がどれぐらいの量必要かということについて、洋平さんの方からお願いできますか。
はい。これも、実際のユーザーじゃなくて、私の方でいいですか。
佐藤さん、周さんからいいですかね。1日どれぐらいの量か。
はい、すみません、ちょっと間違った数字言うのもあれなので確認したいと思うんですけれども。
いいですよ、こっち、
Let me check on the numbers.
例えば、20リットル入れたときに200グラム入れたとか、そういう値でしたかね。
そうですね。
はい。
はい。だからさっきの写真の量ぐらいってことですよね。
そうですね。はい。それくらいが、例えば20リットル取った場合は、それぐらいだという。はい、
なんで、あまりその置き場に困るほどの有機物が必要だということはないということをご理解いただければと思います。はい。では、そろそろもう終了の時間が近づいてまいりましたので、初回の、最後、締めの方に入っていきたいと思います。本日は、素晴らしいプレゼンテーション、どうもありがとうございました。ジョナサン、タンキー、ビクトリア、そして佐藤俊さん、どうも本当にありがとうございました。今、検討している日本の方々も、そしてアフリカ各国、そしてアジアの国からもたくさん今日は参加していただいてましたので、そういった方々の大変参考になったかと思います。また Q&A ではですね、まだちょっと答えが完了してないものもありますので、それらに関してはすべて30日に日本の実際の農業の専門家の人たちから回答していただくということにしたいと思います。またさらに、東京8グローバルのウェブサイトの方にですね、Q&A の中身をきちんとまとめてアップしたいと思いますので、そちらも、ぜひご確認いただければと思います。本日は本当に我々非常に不慣れな中でございましたけれども、このウェビナーの運営にご参加いただきまして、誠にありがとうございました。で、今日の、プレゼンテーションいただいた皆さんは、ぜひちょっとお顔を皆さんオンにしていただいて、最後記念写真を撮って、そして皆さんにバイバイの挨拶をして終わりたいと思います。はい、じゃあ、タンキさん、もういないですかね。で、今日の実は同時通訳は、プロではなくて、我々の東京8グローバルの鈴木さんと武井さんに、担当していただきまして、ありがとうございました。じゃあ本日は本当にありがとうございます。じゃあ皆さん、記念写真を撮ります。はい。はい、では今日はありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。ではまた30日お会いしましょう。30日お会いしましょう。ありがとうございます。バイバイ。ジョナサンありがとう。
Thank you very much.
タンキありがとう。ビクトリアありがとう。佐藤さんありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。